Okay, so you can definitely see my tripod, and you most likely can hear my washing machine, and that is life. I thought today we could do a get ready with me where I walk you through how I'm going to be styling my hair for the audition. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more unique than just pulling my hair back out of my face with a ponytail or a bun. I'm going to do Dutch French braids, or Dutch braids, which means that the braid is reversed on top versus tucked in. And I thought I'd kind of catch you up to speed with what it's been like these past couple weeks. The last update you saw was 4 weeks out, and I really wanted to do a 2-week update. I do have some footage here that I'll insert. But last week was a really rough week for me, and it just wasn't in the cards to share that. So rather than getting upset and mad, I just let myself process that it wasn't going to work out. And, I just tried to be forgiving of myself and remembering that, what I'm doing isn't easy, and there's good days and there's bad days. I've divided my hair in two, and now I'm grabbing my sections and I'm pulling under the strands instead of over the strands, which is what makes it a Dutch braid instead of a French braid. Continuing back on the subject I was talking about earlier though, I had a really rough week last week, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. For more than one reason, it felt like everything was up against me. And I don't mean this in a like boo-hoo me kind of way, just, nothing was going right. And despite every effort I was making to correct it, adjust, and work with it, nothing was working. And, it's okay. Like, I think that our culture is so set on being productive and producing something that, when you try and fail at producing something, it can feel really disappointing because there's no tangible thing to show for all of this energy and effort that you've put into it. So I was really sore last week. I had a pretty rough week at the gym. I also went to a gymnastics gym where I took an adult tumbling class to get my tumbling skills a little bit more honed in. And I was able to do that. However, the gym didn't necessarily have the accommodations that I was hoping for, so I wasn't able to practice everything I really wanted to do. And the people that I was practicing with were there for an adult gym class. They weren't there to train for an upcoming audition, so they weren't treating it with that level of respect. So I was the only one taking it super seriously, which is fine. I'm not mad, but in the same stride, it's really difficult to train when you have to be concerned about all of these other people in the space. Somebody crosses in front of your path, you can't throw your tumbling pass because you're going to land on them. You're going to hurt them. Somebody's going to get injured. So just little things like that added up last week and made for a pretty rough week for me. I lost footage on 1.5 videos that I was recording as well. My SD card corrupted, so I lost a lot of work. There was so many things up against me, and it wasn't that I wasn't trying and that I just gave up, but it was where I continued trying, fighting, and pushing back. And it was just a constant barrage of no, no. And so I got to a point where it was just like, you know what? Fine, like it's okay. I don't need to do this right this minute. After days of fighting back, I'm gonna just rest. I'm gonna listen to the universe telling me to slow down and stop and just relax for a minute. I've spent so much time in the past 2 months just fighting and pushing and working that last week to do nothing was the most anxiety inducing, because if you're not moving in the direction of your goal, are you actually pursuing it? I think it was actually really therapeutic and relaxing to take advantage of this time to rest my mind and really try to mentally prepare myself as much as I've been physically preparing myself. And I just tried to talk to myself and have conversations about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And ultimately, I want this career. I feel a certain type of way about it. Last week, I felt nervous and anxious. And I've always been told that if you're nervous, it means that you care about something. At the same time, I feel that I am hungry for this opportunity. So rather than leaning into the fear, I'm leaning into this driving force within me that wants this job. That really kind of helped put me on a better track. I also, when I was at that gymnastics class, I did a handstand on the beam for a solid 45 seconds, and it was the most exciting part of my entire night. I was so stoked. I also tried to record at the gym, but they weren't allowing us to bring our devices out on the floor, so that was another thing that was up against me. But you know, it is what it is. We're rolling with the punches, and this is going to be a better week. Here is my hairstyle for the day. I definitely need to wash my hair. It's getting a little bit crusty and crunchy. When I go to the audition, I'm gonna do a much better job than this. This isn't terrible, but there's some loose bits of hair over here and over here. There's a little bit of hair sticking up over here. So it's gonna be a little bit more tightened down. I want it to last the entire 6 hours, no problem. But you know, this is a great start. I'm happy with this. And it took a little less time than I was expecting. So yeah, I'll continue looking at you now. All right, so now that my hair is done, I'll quickly just finish wrapping up what I did last week, and then we'll move into this week. Like I said, I wasn't able to get my 2 weeks out video posted that I had hoped to. So I'm gonna combine last week and this week, and we're just gonna so what I record today will go up, and then everything from Tuesday out is gonna be its own video. So the other thing I did last week was I printed out my headshot and resume, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert a photo of what the printout version looks like. I printed it on a higher quality paper. One side is glossy, and that's the side with the photo on it, and the other side is a matte finish, and that's the side with the resume on it. I think it looks a lot nicer to have the headshot and resume on one piece of paper versus doing 2 separate pieces. My resume has my information on it as far as where I'm located, what my phone number is, what my email address is, and of course I'm gonna black out everything that has my personal information on it, including schools I went to, just because I would like to remain spicy here, because it's the internet. Once it's up there, it's not going back. So I have my contact information, my location, and from there I continue on into my education, which is my most recent accomplishment, you could say. So I put that first. After that, I explain my professional experience as a performer. So I included my management in dance, as well as media management, which also had to do with dance. And then I continue on with my dance experience, so traveling across the globe to the Philippines to bring my art and dance. I also shared my ensemble and performance experience with professional companies that I had worked with before. Those are all of the professional experiences that I can remember off the top of my head. And then I continued into my training. Of course, I want to highlight the things that I am most skilled at first, which I went in descending order, so with the most experience at the top and the least experience at the bottom. Gymnastics, of course, being the one I'm most experienced in. But in making this list, it made me realize my dance experience is now kind of quickly coming up on my gymnastics experience as far as years that I've committed to it. So I think that's pretty fun. I really wanted to focus in on my diving experience because I want to hold on to these qualities that make me unique as a performer and a mover. I have all of this technical background that's so rich in understanding my body's mechanics outside of dance, and I think that this company values that. From there, I continue on to my special skills. So I really wanted to make sure that I was covering all of my bases. So I acknowledged my partnering and weight sharing experience. So I don't necessarily have like a partner class that I took for my training to list. However, I have done a lot of weight sharing and partnering work throughout my time and experiences as a dancer and as a gymnast. I also included all of my social media and technology based skills that I can't necessarily list elsewhere. I included my music composition as well as my editing skills because I do think that those are extremely important, and I want that to be known that that's a skill that I possess and that I would love to bring forward and use and share if it is so needed. So my summary, which I did not talk about earlier, is at the top of the page, and I really enjoy making the summary because I think it kind of focuses in with whoever's reading my resume, and it gives them a clearer idea as to who I am and what I enjoy working on as an artist and as a professional, what I want to do with my career. So with that being said, I include my interest in elevating dance with technology, so using screen dance and large set pieces and site-specific work. Those are the things that really excite me as a performer. And I just really like using a summary as a way of taking advantage of the first thing that you read on this piece of paper is, this is who I am and this is what I'm interested in, and the rest will support that. And yeah, I really want to be more direct, and I think that this resume is the epitome of direct. So hopefully this wasn't too long-winded. I will take you along with me when I go to the gym right now. I'm going to do some cardio, then I'll go into my acrobatics, handstands, stretching, and call it a day. This is an incredibly long video, so thanks for sticking around as long as you have. I super appreciate it. I am eager to continue sharing this journey. It is full of highs and lows, and this last week was a little bit low, and I'm hoping that this week will continue on an upward trajectory. Without further ado, you know who I am and you know what I do, so like, subscribe, and hit the bell too. It's free, it helps me out, and it lets me know that you like what I'm doing. So please consider it. Thank you. You the best. And I'll see you in the next clip.